Hey YouTube, today I decided to open a Dominaria booster bundle. The reason for this is because I wanted to just go back to my roots a little bit in Magic the Gathering and open up the very first booster set I ever opened. And the reason why I'm going for a bundle as opposed to say something like a booster box, aside from it being cheaper, is that this has been the exact type of product I would have opened back then, whereas I never opened any booster boxes or anything like that. It's always just individual booster packs, pre-constructed decks, or bundles. And actually the very first thing I ever bought for myself in Magic the Gathering was a Dominaria bundle, plus a Rivals of Ixalan bundle, plus a Core Set 2019 bundle. But this is the one that sort of like stood out to me the most, just I don't know, with how it looked, I guess, and it's the first one I decided to open. And if you just look at the art there, like it just looks, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like very adventurous and upbeat, and like you feel like there's like a sense of something going on inside here. You know, it feels very, very whimsical or something. I don't really know what word I'm looking for, but yeah, and I feel like it gives off a vibe that other sets just don't quite give off. And I didn't even notice at the time, but this set in particular was actually a special release specifically designed for the 25th anniversary of Magic the Gathering. And yet this was like my first set, so I like hopped right into the 25th anniversary of Magic the Gathering without even really realizing it. So I didn't even know how special this set was or how hyped this set was. I thought it was just another set when I got it. I didn't even really pay attention to that part that much. But on the back here, you can see we get the 10 packs with a player's guide. You don't see player's guides anymore. And then obviously a nice box to keep your cards in, a 20-sided spin down die to keep track of your life total, and a bunch of basic lands to kickstart your basic land collection, as you definitely need when you are a new player. And you can hear the die inside of there too. So yeah, this is a very, very cool set, a very nostalgic set to me a little bit. It's not like super old or anything, and I haven't been into Magic for all that long, less than a decade. So yeah, it's not like ooh, from my childhood or whatever, but it is from early adulthood, and as far as Magic goes, this is about as nostalgic as it can get. So let's open it up and see what we can get inside. Obviously the Mox Amber is the most valuable card in here at Mythic Rare. In fact, if you pull a Mox Amber, like that by itself just pays for the entire bundle. But there's also a couple good ones, like the Fairy himself is a really good one. Karn is alright. I'm not sure how valuable Karn is anymore. He used to be like the chase card of the set. And then there's a couple good rares in here too, like Helm of Post is a good rare. Things like that. Gilded Lotus, like there's not a lot of valuable stuff in here anymore, but except for the Mox Amber, and I think the Fairy is fairly valuable. But there's some cool stuff in here. The Weather Lights in here. We have Joyra, just Captain on the Weather Light right there. I want to hate getting stuff like that. But the main thing from here that I do like are like the Saprolings, and wow, just look at this. We actually get a full like player's guide. It's just so cool that to see something physical like this and get to see all these different cards that you can open in the set. Oh, that's a good mythic. I remember playing around with this one in my elemental deck, and there's Joyra. So see, this actually gets me sort of excited for the set, because look, and I remember I've never owned this guy, but I always thought this guy was kind of neat. So yeah, so this is already sort of getting me really excited for the set, just opening this. Like, why don't they do this anymore? They don't add these types of things to the bundles. It's like, I'm really glad I got this actually, because now I own this, because I lost my other one that I had from the original bundle. I think I threw it away, but I'm going to keep this one. So this is where Sagas came out as well. So this is the first set with Sagas, and Sagas are a super beloved card type. Eviscerate was my first black kill spell, and it's a terrible kill spell. It's like, it's bad even for its time. It's 4 mana to kill a creature, where normally you want to do it at 3 mana or less. But, and it's sorcery speed, where normally you want instant speed. Yeah, so just a glimpse down memory lane. I kind of forgot that I actually showcased all the cards in here. And there's like a bunch of goblins in here as well that, you know, my brother likes using goblins. And then, ooh, here's the die. So it's a green die. I thought it was going to be a white die. I guess it might be different colors. But yeah, and then we got 10 booster packs and lands. So here's our land bundle. I'm not going to open this because we'll see pretty much all the different statistics from opening the packs. What is this? Quick reference. Yeah, that just tells us how to play the game, I think, a little bit. And then there's Teferi. I don't know who that is. I don't remember the names of all these characters. It's been too long since I've even really opened much of this set. That's Karn. That's the 3rd Planeswalker. There are 3 Planeswalkers in the set. That's the 3rd one. Karn and Teferi, the other 2. Joyra is just a legendary creature, but she's cool as well. And yeah, this is the set where Historic came out of, and legendary sorceries and stuff. So yeah, let's just start opening this. And this is like a whole world in one set, and that's one thing I like about Magic the Gathering sets as opposed to like Yu-Gi-Oh sets. Take a look, first card right here, Arcane Flight. I do remember opening this. I actually tried using this in like a blue-white deck. It's kind of funny. Arcane Flight. But as I was saying, I forgot what I was saying, but Arbor Armament, +1/+1 counter. Dark Bargain. Cloud Reader Sphinx. Cabal. Oh, this is like a generic card, or like a no ability. It's just a 2 mana for 2/2, no abilities. That's just flavor text. We don't really see cards like that anymore, do we? Oh, I remember this guy. This is like one of the first cards I had I could search a basic land for. But yeah, like Llanowar Elves were in here. I remember getting those, and the very first rare I ever pulled was a Woodland Cemetery out of this pack, which is also my very first dual land I ever got. This is interesting little utility land. And then a Saga for our first rare. The Mirari Conjecture. I don't know how to say that. But yeah, the Sagas like help tell the story of the plane, and this is a neat legendary creature. I'm going to put this to the side because this is like a good creature for wizards, and I actually wanted to build an Is It Wizard deck. So, and then here we go, a soldier token. Yeah, I believe there's like a stained glass cleric token or something, like some sort of stained glass token that seems to be hard to pull, so if we get that, that would be kind of cool. But since this is a bundle and not a box, we're really, like, any like mythic rares you get are going to be actually pretty cool, especially if they're like pretty iconic ones, valuable ones. But yeah, we're taking our time with this because, but that's, oh yeah, it's the thing about Mystic, or sorry, about Magic the Gathering. Fire Elemental, just another vanilla creature. He's kind of cool. Another thing about Magic the Gathering that I like over something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, is that their sets are very cohesive in terms of flavor and stuff. Like, they are revolving around like a world or a story, right? Like, all of these are from Dominaria, and the sagas tell the story of Dominaria. There you go, Llanowar Elves, one of my very favorite cards from back then. Oh, I love this guy. Like, I never really was able to make good use of him, even with my limited card pool, but I just like how this guy looks, and I like his mechanic and stuff. I loved summoning sapperlings back in the day. They were fun, and I like Slimefoot. Ooh, Squee the Immortal as a rare. I like Squee. He's kind of fun. But yeah, and there's an island with a goblin token. I think my brother used to play Squee in his original goblin deck. He's kind of annoying because like he never leaves. Like, he's never gone for good. Basically, once you draw him, he's in your hand forever, so you can just keep casting him out, because you can cast him from the graveyard or from exile, so there's really no way to get rid of him for good, aside from shuffling him back into the deck or something. So, he's very persistent. But he's just not super mana efficient. Try to go a little faster here. Kicker. I remember a kicker was also a thing in here that I liked. I didn't really know how to feel about sagas at first because they look very different from any other Magic the Gathering card. But but once I learned how the mechanic worked and stuff, I definitely grew onto them a lot more. And nowadays, I actually actively like sagas. And speaking of which, there's one, Triumph of Gerard. But yeah, for people who don't really know the Dominaria story super well, the sagas do help illustrate them a little more. We've got a duplicate rare, which is not what we want to see in these packs. We've got a foil, common, and another. Wow, we're getting lots of duplicates already. And a sapperling token. Alright, we like sapperling tokens. Yeah, so you really want to see Mox Amber, Joyra, Karn, Teferi. Deep Freeze, I remember having that card. Yeah, I basically like lost all my cards that I had from this go because I lost a lot of cards from back then. Ooh, this is Broken Bond, so that's a Planeswalker symbol, so that means this card has to do with like a Planeswalker story. That's Nissa Planeswalker. She's not in the set though, but draw 2 cards. Pretty decent. And Hinterland Harbor. Ooh, and that's a double rare. So this is a foil rare, actually. Oath of Teferi. It's not Teferi himself. I thought it was Teferi at first, but no, it's Oath of Teferi. But 2 rares in that pack. Because one of them was foil and a knight. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, I feel like Magic Gathering these days. Oh, I remember this card. This was very good for me back then. But these days, I feel like Magic Gathering just doesn't really feel the same as it did back with this set. You know, I feel like it doesn't really have as strong of a story or... Ooh, Damping Sphere. This is a really good card for an uncommon. Ooh, it's a Djinn. There, I'll try to... There, Tempest Djinn. Rona, Disciple of Gix. She's pretty cool as well. And then, of course, and sapperling token. We can always use more sapperling tokens. Another Arcane Flight, reading lots of these. But yeah, like, I don't know, Magic Gathering just doesn't feel the same as it did back then. You know, I feel like it's lost its identity a little bit. Like, some sets are still, you know, decent. They're still relatively on par for back in these days. But, like, I don't know. Like, this is back when Magic the Gathering was just 100% Magic the Gathering. You know, it wouldn't be like that for much longer. Final Parting. That's Liliana, the Planeswalker. And for our rare, we got Thrawn Temporal Gateway. Interesting. You may put a historic permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield, so you get cheat legendary sagas and artifacts into play, which is neat. And a foil Soul Savage. Can't really see foils on here very well, but ooh, Goros, the empty one. I remember having this. I put this in my very first deck. I had a green and black deck, and this went into that green and black deck, in the initial version of it. And then what is this? A Nightmare Horror? That's a very cool looking token. I don't remember ever seeing this. Nightmare Horror, star. Interesting. So, more than halfway done. We have 4 packs left, including this one. Warlord's Fury. Charge. Another one of these, and alright, this is common. I don't really know how the order of these cards work in this particular set. This is an interesting one. Merfolk Soldier. Oops. Oh, here's our rare. Jinn of the Lamp. That looks neat. And sorry about this scatterness here. I'm not really in an advantageous position right now. I'll fix all this after the opening and stuff. I don't have the best recording setup right at this moment. As you can probably tell. Ooh, Artificer's Assistant. I like this card. Little Bird. Let's use Scry. Soul Savage. I always thought the artwork of this card is really cool. Because I also had that one. Llanowar Elves. You can always use more Llanowar Elves. Seismic Shift. This is a destroy a land card. We don't really get many land destruction cards these days. Ooh. Whoops. Oh, and here's the Siege King Commander as a rare, and this is our foil card, so very cool Saproling type of card. And Saproling token. Nice. Alright, 2 packs left. We don't believe we've even gotten a mythic rare yet. No mythic rare in this entire set, or in this entire opening yet. That's going to be disappointing if we can't get one, because that would not be very good, you know. Ideally, I'd like to get like 2 or more if I was really hoping for some good stuff, but I want to at the very least get 1, right? Ooh, Tolarian Scholar. This is a fun card, because in case you know who the guy from Tolarian Community College is, this guy's basically based off of him. So Wizards of the Coast actually like made a card sort of based off of an actual YouTuber, which is kind of cool. I don't know if they really do anything like that anymore. Mammoth Spider. Ooh, this guy looks kind of nasty. Ooh, Saproling Migration. I love these Saproling cards. Back then I opened like a ton of Saproling cards, so I tried to make them sort of like a semi-Saproling deck. Didn't really work out too well, but I enjoyed summoning Saprolings. It's just fun. And another one of those. That's also kind of why I went into green-black, because green-black is the 2 colors that make Saprolings a lot. But also I just felt like the best cards I had were green-black, because green I felt like was my absolute best color that I opened, and then black also had like removal and stuff, and I wanted some kind of removal, and plus it also had some Saproling stuff. And Karn's Temporal Sundeering. So this is a really cool legendary sorcery. It lets you skip turns, or take extra turns, I mean. Really cool for flavor, but still just a regular rare, not a mythic. Roma, Forest, and Elemental token. Yeah, we didn't get that stained glass window token either. We have 1 last pack left. Hopefully this pack will actually do something. Like, we need it to be a mythic rare. Like, I'll have to go through this entire box, not get a single mythic rare, because you should be able to get one every like 6-8 packs or so. Like, this is 10 packs, you should get at least 1 in 10 packs, right? Ooh, Gift of Growth. This is neat. Alchemy Drake. Demonic Vigor. Ooh, Power Stone Shard. This is kind of a cool one because you get 1 mana for each Power Stone Shard you control, so the more of these you have, the more out of hand it can get in terms of mana generation. But having just 1 is bad. You really need at least 2 in play for it to be any good. Minor Elves. Fight with Fire. A land. Ooh, and Sulfur Falls for our last rare. We didn't. Ooh, a Yargle, Glutton of Oozburg. That's at least a neat uncommon, or neat. Yeah, it's a neat uncommon to end on. I really like this guy. Let's read his flavor text. I'm so glad we pulled him. So he's a frog spirit. He's a frog spirit that says, when Belzanox Lieutenant Yarkul grew too ambitious, the demon lords transformed him into a maggot. The frog that ate the maggot grew and grew until a ravenous spirit burst from its body. So yeah, he's basically a frog that ate this maggot, and then he just grew into this thing. And he's 9/3 for 5 mana, which is pretty sizable body for that mana. So he's just really cool, and he's kind of beloved in the Magic community, and he came out in this set, and I really, really love that guy. So yeah, I think that's a perfect card to end on, even though we didn't get any sort of mythic rare. So no cool cards, just a bunch of rares. Nothing that I really was looking for at all, honestly. But, you know, it wasn't really about the exact pulls. It was more about just going through memory lane. Like, I didn't get super crazy pulls either, as, like, when I first opened this. I think I got 0 mythic rares as well out of here. I don't really remember any mythic rares I got. So, yeah, I feel like the bundles might not be super easy to get mythics in. I don't really know, but it's still a very, very good thing to get, if nothing else, just for this right here. And all the memories that come with it. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.